Hi, you're listening to Art Horse, a silly and serious podcast about creativity and stepping out of your comfort zone.
I'm Fiona, a layabout with a law degree.
And I'm Jess, an illustrator with birds on the brain.
We're going to chat about adding art to our lives and nurturing creativity.
Well, here it is.
Art horse, art horse, art horse, art horse, art too cheap to buy jingles. Art horse, art horse, art too cheap to buy jingles. Hey, so this is it. Horse, art. Got my microphone.
I figured I had to be outside because there was I have to add something. I don't have a silky smooth, beautiful voice, so we
have to add bird song and bee buzz.
Come on, you guys. Get into it.
Who's that Disney princess who, she holds out her hand and a bird lands on it?
I feel like that's every Disney princess except for, Ariel. Because,
A fish lands on her hand. That's you. Oh, I can hear them. So this was your week off.
Yeah, I guess. I guess so. I feel like it kind of time flew in some sense.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a week off any more than any other week, I guess.
Okay, well, you know what it is, though, maybe? Is that the podcast is so much work.
It could be.
We record on Friday, and then we basically, work a lot until Tuesday.
I feel like you work for 4 days straight, and I,
You just wait for me?
Yeah, I come on in, and I, amble in, sit down.
Yeah.
Have a listen.
Well, I feel like the things that you do depend on me doing something first, so I feel like I'm always, rushing because I don't want you to, not have enough time to do what you need to do.
Which I feel like is the best way that it could go. I don't think it would be very good if it went the other way.
Yeah, I don't know. And so I feel like we get to Tuesday, we post the episode, and then it's 3 days later, it's Friday, so.
Right.
And we're recording again, so I feel like the weeks have been going really quickly.
Yeah, and I feel like Friday, I always look forward to it. It's the best day of the week.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
And I think it's also kind of fun.
Wait, because of the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had a little doubt in my mind for a second.
Because it's the podcast, or because we gotta get down on Friday?
I was wait, because of me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I feel I think in some ways it's kind of weird because we usually would have normal conversations about this stuff throughout the week, but then it feels like we have to keep secrets now, which feels kind of weird. And I
know, things happen and I'm ooh, gonna save that for Friday. So we can have something juicy to talk about.
Yeah. And it always is. But I guess that's kind of why it's so fun to talk on Fridays, because it's
Yeah. Because in our preparation documents, I'm always and then I'm gonna talk about
a secret.
A secret. And I hope that I remember them this week.
Yeah, or you put something and then you delete it, and I was oh, what's that going to be? And then it's gone, and I'm okay.
Well, I remember last week, didn't I put down, and then I want to talk about secret, and then I couldn't remember what it was?
No, it was morning pages.
Oh, okay. I think okay, you know what happened was I wrote down secret in the document.
And then it was a secret
for a couple days, I was wait, what the fuck was I going to talk about? I couldn't remember until we started recording. So it all worked out.
Wow.
Oh my God. I have a big juicy package from you right here.
Woo!
Should I open it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Do I need a preamble? I have a suspect of what it is.
I think you're going to be oh yeah, she said she was going to send this to me.
Okay.
Okay, this is so boring.
No.
No, I'm so excited.
It's not boring to me because I'm getting a gift, so. What? Wait, what is this? Oh, damn! Okay, no, I actually wasn't expecting this. But I was expecting this. Okay.
Whoa.
So it's The Art of Asking, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Let People Help by Amanda Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
So the Art of Asking is, Jackie sent it to me and I read it, and now I'm sending it to you. I'm passing it on.
Okay. So after I finish it, I'll have to find somebody to send it on to.
Yeah, somebody who...
Or I suppose I could send it back to you, but...
Don't send it back to me. Amanda Palmer says the gift must keep moving or something like that.
Like pay it forward.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is drawing on the right side of the brain. Because I painted my head and I painted my mouth too small and my forehead too small. And this book is supposed to help you with like, what's the word?
Literally, there's a section in there on small foreheads.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I feel like when I went through it, I hated going through it, but it's changed the way that I draw. And I'm a page folder, and I'm also an underliner. So I underlined a lot of stuff in The Art of Asking, and I folded a lot of I think, all the exercise pages in the drawing on the right side. Because I wanted to, like, have something to look forward to, because a bit of it is a little bit dry. But it's so good. I feel like you're going to love it.
I'm just flipping through, and it looks... absolutely wonderful. Oh my goodness.
Yay!
It looks like a lot of work, though. It looks like you're sending me like a ton of homework.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry for the homework, but so it took me, I think, 5 days to work through the whole book, which sounds kind of insane given how big it is.
Yeah.
There's a section at the end that's like skippable. It's like about cursive writing or something, which I was like, I'm here for the faces. I'm not here for this other thing. But I don't know, like, I feel like I just read and drew. Like, there's a bunch of exercises, a bunch of, like, draw this, like, copy this painting upside down, and then you turn it over, and you're like, whoa.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
That sounds really fun. I think I'll wait until I'm done the artist's way, though.
Yes.
Because I'm, like, one workbook at a time is, like, my rule for my life. Like, I have to do one sort of one thing at a time.
Just sending you book after book of homework.
Yeah. Oh, but it's so wonderful. I love to learn. And then I'm so excited to read Amanda Palmer.
Yay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yay.
I'm so excited.
I'm so glad. So I also got a package from you this week, which was... So a few weeks ago, you were like, okay, this week I'm going to paint the tiny canvas. And then we followed up the next week and you were like, I didn't paint that, but I did this other thing. But you actually did paint the tiny canvas.
Lied.
And then you sent it to me for 1,000 birds. And it has a bird on it. It has a grackle on it. And it says, congratulations.
Oh my god, I think I told you, Jess. Did I tell you how long it took me to find a bird pun for congratulations?
You said it took a while.
Oh girl, I'm gonna say like I was looking through lists and lists and lists for like, I would say, almost an hour. And I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh. But you did it, and you nailed it. Like, that was like the perfect thing. And it's the sweetest little canvas. We'll share a picture of it. It's like green background, and the sides are even painted.
Isn't it cute?
It's so cute.
I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a bird that starts with a gra. And I kept Googling, like, I thought it was called maybe like a gratch. And I was like, that would be perfect because it would be congratulations.
That definitely is wishful thinking. But it would be so...
I don't know what I was thinking, but then it like came to me in a beam of light from outer space.
Oh my god!
That the bird is called grackle. So I didn't even find it in a list.
Oh
it
my
just,
god!
Like,
It just came out of you. That's brilliant.
Exactly. I like dredged it up from the depths of my soul.
Wow!
After like an hour of
it really came through on the canvas.
Do you like his little eyeball?
It's so good.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun doing it, and that was the first tiny canvas that I ever did. It's like 3. Wow. What would you say that's like 3 inches by 2 inches?
It's quite small.
It's teeny weeny.
Yes.
And it was the first acrylic I did after my face debacle, my portrait.
Which was a beautiful portrait, but it was quite an odyssey,
quite a process.
Some would say. Yeah.
Yeah. This one was like the first experience of like just taking a tiny little canvas, squeezing out my paints, and just like having fun with it. And it was just a really lovely experience. And then I was like, I don't even have to worry about keeping this somewhere because I'm just going to just send it to Jess.
Which is, I feel like that's the amazing thing we talked about a few weeks ago where we were like, this is a really great way to get moving on stuff is to give it away.
Exactly. And then if the other person doesn't want it, then they can just like hide it in a drawer for 10 years until they like feel okay about throwing it out, and it's not your problem.
Every time you come over, they can hang it up.
No, I should be like an asshole, and like if I come over to your place again, I'll just be like, so where's the painting I did?
Right, and then I lead you to like my closet, and there's a shrine
with like strands of my hair.
Yeah. Candles.
Oh God. I love that. Make it happen, Captain. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Okay.
So it's been an exciting little week.
Holy shit, it has. We have a kind of a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, you know, I don't actually have that much. Like, I look at the stuff that you've written on the doc, and I feel like that's some heavy,
maybe
bigger stuff.
We'll see if I can articulate anything that I'm feeling, because I'm having, like, my brain feels like soft serve ice cream today, and
wow,
it's so hot. It's 35 degrees, I think.
Damn.
And
that's really hot. And you were outside, it sounds like.
Yeah, I was out and about, and it like made me nauseous, like to be out. And I know that like maybe to some people 35 degrees doesn't sound that hot, but I am like the whitest of white girls. My ancestors are like Scottish. I'm not built for heat at all. Like not one tiny bit. Like, so if I go out in the heat for too long, it makes me feel like vomiting.
That's your evolutionary adaptation. Go back inside.
Go back inside. Exactly. So it's not pleasant. So I feel like tiny bit of sunstroke, but I'll be fine.
Okay, that sounds hot, though.
It's hot. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But, so that's... Oh, are you walking away from me right now? That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
The door slams.
Hey guys, so it's just gonna be me this week. I feel like, have you seen Wayne's World when Wayne like storms off set and then Garth has to do the show on his own?
No.
Oh, Jess, you gotta see that. Are you settled?
Yes.
Okay.
The bugs got too bad. Like the sun went away, and then there was like they were as big as birds, and it's got too dangerous to be outside. So I'm back in the tin can.
Okay. How's your brain doing today? Are you...
What? Today I'm good. Yesterday I was in such a weird place. I wanted to paint so bad. Like I wanted that feeling of like sitting down and getting really into something, like that feeling that you get when you're like looking at something really carefully and copying it onto a picture, or like bringing it out of your mind and like putting it down. And I wanted that feeling so bad, and I sat out here for like hours and I just could not make it happen, and it was so discouraging. So then I know, and you sent me a picture of a beautiful thing that you painted, and it like stabbed me in the heart, because I was like, I want that for myself. It was very painful, but
I'm sorry.
No. I'm so glad that you sent it, and it's beautiful and inspiring, and I can't wait to hear more about it. Okay. But like, I had so many feelings, and not just about that, but about like everything. I was like, oh, like, why am I here?
Like, why am I on this planet?
Yeah. Like, I just like not feeling super present lately, and just feeling kind of trashy, but today I felt better.
Well, so this past week was supposed to be, like, I remember we talked about
Flights of Fancy week.
Yeah, you were supposed to just sort of chill and, like, don't put any pressure on yourself to do anything, and maybe just sort of fart around.
Yeah.
Did that work out at all?
I painted some things that I've been saving to show you. Ooh. Which was really fun, but I think, like, there's this thing that I was going to talk about in, like, bigger ideas, but I don't know how big of an idea it really is. It's, like, I remember, like, when I used to go dancing, you know, back before the pandemic, but also just back in general, because I kind of stopped.
Yeah.
I would go out, and, like, sometimes I would have the most magical dance. Like, I would, like, basically fall in love for 3 minutes. Like, it feels like everything is, like, smooth. There's no, like, resistance in your movement. Everything just kind of comes to you. It feels like you're feeling inspired, and then you're just living that inspiration, and your eyes are kind of half closed. Like, it feels just like everything is, like, sparkling and, like, hazy and beautiful. Like, that's like, when I have dance like that, it reminds me why I love dancing. And I think it could be like any kind of dance that you can even think of. Like, I feel like you can probably feel that way, like, just so into it. And I feel like sometimes, like, I would have those amazing dances, and then the next day, or like probably not the next day, but like the next time I would show up, I would kind of wait on the side of the dance floor and, like, be like, no, I want to have the dance that I want to fall in love with is, like, probably not with that person, or it's like, you know, like, I would start to like get really picky and, like, try to put myself into that situation again where I could, like, feel that really deep sort of connection again, and it just like wouldn't come. And the more that I tried for it, the further it would get away, until I would show up to this dance and just be, like, miserable, and I'd be like, oh, it must be the clothes I'm wearing, or it must be, like, my hairdo, or it must be, you know, like, some sort of, if only something I had off. You know, friends here, or, like, if only I whatever, or, like, feeling very why-me about it. So that's kind of my experience with dancing. But, like, showing up to try to paint something, like, I was showing up to try to fall in love, and it just, like, wasn't happening. Like, I was looking through my pictures for something to paint, and, like, none of them grabbed me. You know, I feel like when I have a good idea about something I want to paint, it's almost like it's burned into my brain. Like, every once in a while, like, I'll have, like, a flash of I don't want to say vision, because that sounds very silly, but, like, a vision of what I want to put down, and it'll haunt me until I do it, kind of.
Oh, amazing.
But just, like, it's, like, this interest is what it basically is. It's like, oh, like, I wonder what would happen if I tried to paint pop cans, and, you know? And I feel like I did all the things that I was interested in, and I basically got to the bottom of my creative well where my bucket was hitting the bottom. And so that's what yesterday was like.
Okay.
But today I'm feeling better. I'm happy that it's podcast day. I'm happy to hear. I'm excited to hear about everything that you did, because we haven't talked about anything that you did this week.
I know.
So I can't wait. So yesterday was trash. Today is good.
Okay.
How are you?
I think I kind of know what you're talking about. Like what would be the equivalent for me? Maybe, like, writing. Where, like, or I mean, it could be like, you know, that feeling of, like, sentences are coming out just beautifully. They're saying exactly what you want them to say. It feels like they're just pouring forth, like, perfectly formed, and it feels so good, and you just sort of zone out, and, like, you know what I mean? I mean, you just said it, so I think I know what you mean. And then, like, the next day, you're like, all right, I'm going to keep working on this. Right. And then you suddenly don't speak English anymore, and, like, you don't know how to spell, and basic grammar rules are difficult, and it's like, and so it stops you, because you're like, wait, no, I have to be in this, like, state. I have to be in this flow. I have to be in this,
like, just take me back to flow.
Yeah, take me back to flow. And it's like, okay, well, was I sitting in a different chair? Like, did I have, like, something to eat that just, like, what was it? And, like, I have to recreate the conditions. Conditions.
Like, it becomes a little superstitious, like, almost.
Yeah, it's like, what underpants was I wearing? But you can't, because it's so, like, it's not dependent on your underpants, and it's not dependent on your chair. It's something else entirely, and so you can't control it, so you just, like, stop.
And I feel like the thing that it is entirely is that thing that you were saying last week about your dad said, well, you got to have stuff to write about, right? Like, if you want to be a writer. Like, I feel like it comes down to, like, the sort of life experiences that you're... the juiciness that you're putting into the...
Yeah, like, you have a life experience, and then it sort of ferments in your brain, and it turns into, like, an idea, and then it's like, it's something that can come out of you onto the paper or whatever. But then if there's no that bucket, that well's empty, then it's like, well, no. Oh shoot, I wanted to talk about my morning pages real quick.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I remember last week I pledged to you that I would do my morning pages, like my 3 pages of journaling.
Right. Pledge to all of us.
Fuck, I haven't done it today.
Oh, damn.
Oh my God. Okay, well, the day's not over. I can still do it. So I did it every day except today.
Oh my God.
And except for Saturday.
That's great.
Yeah, so I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'll do it today. So that'll be, yeah. So I'm back on track.
How does it feel?
Well, so it feels better, and it's because I think I was actually starting to do it right. Because I think before, maybe I didn't mention that I would have, like, my phone beside me. And then I would, like, drift off and be like, oh, I wonder what's happening on Instagram.
That's exactly what I was like for the last, like, probably month of morning pages. I was like,
yeah.
It makes it harder because it's not like a, you know, it's like interrupted ideas, and then you're like, now where was I?
Totally.
I'm just trying to get through this thing. It's such a slog.
Yeah. And I wasn't following the rule of don't think, just write. I wasn't following the rule of don't take breaks, you know, like you're supposed to just write until you hit 3 pages. I wasn't doing that. I was like sort of putting my pen down and like zoning out and then checking my phone, and then, you know, somebody would talk to me and I would be like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say whenever anyone talks to me. So this week I was alone in my room. I put my phone away.
Whoa.
And I actually like wrote whatever was in my head for 3 pages. Even if it was like, I'm blue dabba-dee dabba-daya or whatever. Like, whatever. Because I always wake up with a stupid song in my head.
That song or any song?
Usually that song, yeah. I'm joking, yeah.
I think it's a sign. If it's that song, there's a...
Oh, you know what song I've been waking up with in my head is the one that goes batshit crazy. Batshit, batshit. Yeah. I love that song. Batshit.
Me too. Oh.
Batshit crazy. It's so good.
Yeah.
And so I've been waking up, and in the morning I'm like, batshit. And so I just like, one of the mornings I just wrote out batshit crazy over and over, and it's like, that's fine because it's not breaking the stream of consciousness, I think.
Totally. Like, it's like there's no rules, but there are rules, kind of.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. And so I kind of like, I was like, you know what? You haven't been being honest and you haven't been following the rules. I was like, it's not working for me. I don't like it. And I was like doing it totally wrong.
You're just doing whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah. So that got back on track for me.
Wow.
Which was nice. Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that it feels better. Like, I feel like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you actually do it right, you hit 3 pages in like, what, 15 minutes? Whereas before, it was taking me so long because I would fuck around the whole time. And I'd be like, this is taking like an hour.
And it's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, in the book, it says something like, this should only take 20 minutes. But for me, it would take, like, 40, like, 45. Because, like, I'm doing, like, literally loose leaf pages. Like, I don't have any notebooks. I was just doing it on paper.
Yeah.
You're back on morning pages. That's good.
Back on my bullshit. And it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other smaller things that I wanted to talk about were so I was scrolling through Instagram and I follow an artist named Erica Lee Sears. She does an oil painting, like a full-sized oil painting every day.
Wow. What's full size?
I don't know, like not a mini canvas, I guess.
I feel like if you paint an entire mini canvas, it's a full-size painting.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm always like, this isn't real, but it is.
Yeah.
She does a painting every day, and they're so colorful and juicy. Mm-hmm. And like, okay, so you know, in the movie Hook with Robin Williams?
I'm aware of it. I don't think I've seen it. I don't
Have
watch you seen
a lot
any
movies?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, there's this one scene where he's Peter Pan as an adult, basically, and he goes back to Neverland, and he finds the Lost Boys, and they have this imaginary food fight. So they don't have any food, but they have a food fight.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, Robin Williams / Peter Pan starts seeing the food, and it's these like thick globs of like colorful. It's like a soft clay, and they're just like throwing it everywhere and spattering it everywhere, and it's these like rich, fun colors, and it's everywhere. And so her paintings remind me of that because the colors are just so delicious. I love them. Anyway, that was a total tangent, but that's what it makes me think of. Maybe somebody who's listening will have seen the movie Hook.
I'm sure of it.
It's so good. So anyway, I was just like on Instagram, and she posted that, or maybe it was a story, that she's doing a workshop, 1 hour workshop hosted by Michaels and Gamblin Oil Paints, not Spawn. And well, it was sponsored for her, obviously.
Right.
To follow along, and it was like
we bleep it out.
Yeah. I mean, hell.
Yeah.
I'm not doing no free advertising.
That's right.
And so I signed up because it was free, and the only reason I did, Jess, like before, it never would have occurred to me that this was something for me.
Oh my God.
But because you, the other week, signed up for that comic workshop.
Ooh!
And
and you,
I was like,
by association, took it in the bath.
In the bath. I was there too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just was something that I never would have done before because it wasn't on my radar of things that I do. Like, I don't know.
And I think it's especially interesting because, like, I don't think I would have signed up for that because I don't have oil paints. But you were like...
So the thing is, I didn't know that you had to have... I didn't know that... I didn't understand that it was like a paint-along.
Oh my God.
So I was like, I don't have oil paints, but that's fine.
Right, like, I'm just going to watch and maybe I'll learn something.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just watch and listen and learn, right?
That's
what I thought it was
going
to be.
Spirit of, like... of mind, right? To be like, I'm just gonna do this and it's gonna be whatever it is. Oh my God, so I imagine she starts talking, okay, so take your paintbrush, and you're like, what the fuck? You like start scrambling.
I get the email from Michaels, and it's like, thank you for signing up for Erica Lee Sears oil paint workshop thing, and it was like, you will need the 1980 Gamblin oil paint set.
Oh
and
my God.
Like, you know, all the like oils and chemicals that you need, and I was like, and so I looked online. I was like, maybe I could buy them from Michaels.
Right, which is exactly what they wanted you to do.
I know. But like, they were sold out, and also even if they hadn't been sold out, they were quite expensive. So I was like, you know what? I have acrylic paint, and that's just gonna have to be fine.
Impressed by that. Like, I love that you took on blind faith. You know? And then you just jumped in. You're like, I don't care that these aren't oils.
and I was a little bit nervous, though, like, because I kind of did care that they were just acrylics. They weren't oils. And I was nervous because I didn't know how many people would be on the call. And I was like, what if it's just like me and like 10 other people?
Was it like
a
Zoom call? Like you could see everybody else?
It was Zoom, yeah. And there was like 100 people. So I don't know what I was scared about. But I was scared because I was like, I felt like, you know, like when you're in grade 6 and you show up to class and you don't have a pencil and the teacher gets mad at you.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm showing up to class without materials. And as a lifelong student, that feels very bad to me.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. And so I showed up and I was like, oh yeah, I have oil paints.
I'm here, me and my
oils.
oils.
Like, they're out of frame. You can't see them, but they're here.
Yeah.
And it was fine. And not only was it fine, oh, well, I mean, I had like a glass of wine, so that helped.
It was wine.
But it was wine. It was so wine. And I had a wonderful time. And it was 1 hour. And she sent us a reference photo of like a cut open avocado.
Wow.
And then she just like started painting. And we were like, all right, I guess
we're painting.
Here we go. And so she was sort of like talking about what she was doing, talking about how to mix paints and get certain colors. And I learned something really cool, which is that to make a color darker, or to make like a shadow of a color, you mix in the opposite color.
Whoa.
I didn't fucking know that.
Whoa.
So like if we had green, and to make like the shadow of the pit of the avocado, I think it was, what's the opposite? Red?
Yeah.
We mixed in red, and it made like a muddy dark green that was perfect for a shadow. And I was like, normally I've been just adding black.
Me too. Or blue. I feel like I add blue to everything.
Yeah.
It's like
so much richer when you don't add the black.
Totally.
Like add a different color instead. So that was something that just like blew my little mind.
That's incredible.
I had such a great time. And then and it was fun. I think so what I really liked about it was only an hour long. And Erica Lee Sears paints at the speed of light. She is a speed painter.
Wow.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to dash my paintbrush all around this canvas and I'm just going to keep up with her. And if it looks like shit, that's fine. My goal is just to keep up.
Wow. And
that's like not the way that I paint normally. I'm normally very slow, very meticulous.
Right. Details.
Details first. I don't do that. None of this putting down shapes shit. No. If I'm painting like a petal with 8 flowers, I'll do one petal in full detail before I move on to the next petal.
Wow.
And that's not how she worked at all. She did very broad strokes, broad swaths of color, like rough shapes. And then it was like layer after layer got more and more refined. Which is so cool because that's just not, I mean, that might be like a really obvious thing for somebody who's done a lot of painting before, but to me, I haven't. So I didn't know that that's not how you do it, but that's a way that you can do it.
Right. That lets you get everything sort of in the right
spot. It lets you get everything in the right spot before you invest an hour on some detail that's in the wrong spot. So I painted this little avocado.
Which is gorgeous.
Thank you. Like, I'm so pleased with it. Like, I think it looks really nice. And I think that has to do with the speed at which I was painting. It was so fast. I was like, Erica, honey.
Can we
just chill? But no, it was like it's almost like I didn't have time to second guess. I didn't have time to get into the weeds about some little detail. And also, like, she was guiding us through. She was like, you know, if you want to make something round, you want to like move your paintbrush where your eye would go around the pit or something like that. Like, really, really helpful tips. It was just wonderful. So I had a great time.
Wow.
And I think, so what I want to do with this moving forward is I want to try to do that with my next painting. Like, I want to put down blocks of color first and not worry about everything being perfect immediately. Like, you know, you put down the shape of an avocado, but as you go, you can refine it with, you know, like the background. You can carve out a proper shape or whatever. So, like, that's just not how I've been working before. So I'm going to like try to do that with my next painting.
It's exciting to have a new like idea.
Yeah, like a new method that it seems like will bring different results for me.
Yeah.
And like maybe will be like a more enjoyable experience.
Ooh.
Because it's not like everything has to be perfect before I can move on to the next section or the next color or whatever. It's like, you know what? Like... This little brown blob is going to be the pit. And then this little green circle is going to be the avocado.
Whoa.
An avocado. Thanks. And so, have you seen that meme?
No.
Oh no, Jess. I keep referencing memes to you and you're like, question mark?
But you know, like somebody out there is like listening and laughing. Yeah. So it's funny.
I hope so. Yeah, so it was just wonderful.
That's so inspiring, like to take a leap on a...
a leap.
What did you think I said?
Definitely thought you said to take a leak on a thing. Take a leap. Ew. Context clues, Fiona. Okay. Oh shit, Jess. The next thing is a secret and I don't...
You're not ready?
I don't fucking remember what it is.
No.
Jess. Oh, okay, so I do.
Okay.
And it's that I sold my clay.
You sold it! Is that what you were like, I just gotta put some stuff out. I'm selling some clothes. Was that actually clay?
No, I actually was selling clothes. I'm not just like a liar now. I know I did lie to you about the tiny canvas, but
right.
No, I decided I fucking sold it because I had such an awful time the last time.
It was like haunting you. It was the monster under your bed.
It was awful, and I was like, this is not fun. And like I was like, you know, maybe I can do it in the future when I have more space. But then I sort of tried to think like, but will I want to? And then I was like, you can have this clay, or you could sell it, and with that money you could buy beads.
You did it!
And so guess what I did? I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody bought it all.
Wow.
And then today I went to Michael's.
Uh-huh.
And you know what I did? Okay, so if anyone is listening and has been following my clay saga, I went ham on the clay when I first got excited about that idea. Like, I spent a ton of money on it. I bought a lot of clay, more than anyone needs.
Except for the person that bought it on Facebook.
Except the lady that bought it from me. She needs
nice
it.
lady.
She's making a dragon sculpture, so that's cool.
She needs it all.
She needs it all. I didn't need it. I didn't need all that, and I spent a ton of money on it, and it gave me a lot of guilt, and it really blocked me up. And so what I did this time was I sold the clay. I got back a good amount of the money that I spent on it, and the tools that I bought for it. And I went to Michael's, and I was like, okay, I sold this clay for $60, so I can buy $60 worth of beads. And then I put all these beads in my basket, and I was walking around, and I was like, don't be fucking stupid. You might hate this too.
Whoa.
You know, I had like 7 little vials or tubes of beads, and I was like, buy 4. Or maybe I had 10, because I ended up really reducing, and I ended up only buying 4. So I spent like maybe $20 on beads.
Wow.
Which to me is a more reasonable.
Like, that's a good casual craft investment.
Exactly.
Like,
what were you saying in that episode? You were saying like minimum viable product or whatever.
Yeah. The MVP.
Yeah. So I'm trying not to scale up immediately, because I haven't made a beaded anything. I don't know if I'll like it. So I bought 4 vials of beads in pretty colors, and that's just what is going to be my next craft. And I'm not going to invest another $200 into it until...
You scaled back by like, what is that, 10%?
Yeah.
No, not 10%. What is that, 10 times? 10 times.
60%.
Right, but the first time it was like more than 200, and now it's 20.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's incredible. That's a huge change.
Yeah. So this time I kind of cooled my jets, and now I have a little set of beads that I'm so excited to use.
Wow.
And it's like, it feels a lot less stressful, because if I hate beading, that's okay. I'm only out $20.
Yeah.
And I can take anything apart, put them back in the tubes, and I can put them on Facebook Marketplace, which has just been such a blessing to me. And my horrible spending habits.
It's sort of given you autonomy back, almost like gave your life back.
Oh my God.
Because was it like episode 2, you're like, this is my life now. And it kind of was your life for like 6 weeks.
I was like making plans to like, well, I gotta make like 100 pairs of earrings to make this money back. And like,
and now you just have a little like treasure, like a little thing that, you know, takes up no space.
I know. And you know what's the great thing about beads is they don't get all over your hands, and they don't stain everything, and you don't have to bake them at a certain temperature. Okay, so like I had a bunch of earrings that I made, and I had them in a little box, and I knocked them off my desk by accident. They all fucking broke.
Oh my God.
So even like the earrings that I had made, it's so hard to get the right temperature to like cure everything properly, right?
This like went down in flames.
Oh my God. And it was causing me so much stress.
Oh my God.
And I've like found a way to,
like rectify.
You know what I
almost.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I've been on a roll. But like I feel so good, and I feel so like something about having confirmation from you on a weekly basis that basically like all art is good art in a sense, you know, even if it's bad.
Yeah.
Kind of like all dogs are good boys.
Even if they're girls.
Even if they're girls, or even if they're kind of bad dogs.
Ben's right here.
Like Ben. Oh, Ben. Has been really wonderful for my confidence. And that's what I think we've really been going for with this podcast in general, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like inspiring people who listen. And did you see the Instagram message that we got just before we started recording?
No. What is
okay,
it
well,
say?
I won't blow up her spot, but it's a really wonderful message that just was saying, like, you know, I've been blocked for so long about art, but listening to your podcast helped me to make a little sculpture.
Oh my God.
So just we're getting those kind of messages, and it's exactly what we had hoped for. Mm-hmm. And it makes me feel so happy when we get these messages, because it's like, that's just goddamn lovely. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard to find that sort of unconditional acceptance.
Totally.
So that's what we want to give to ourselves and give to anybody who's listening.
Yeah, I love the idea that we're all just sort of breaking free of blocks.
I want
together.
to break free. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've been talking for an hour.
I have loved every second of it. I don't know how long it's been.
I have been talking. Why don't I give you a chance to say something?
Well, I don't really have that much to say.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah, okay.
I can't see the doc, so I don't really remember what I wrote, but...
You said discovered a secret, so you have to remember.
Okay, I do remember.
Okay.
I'm going to send you... I hope I have a picture. Okay, so I made 3 things, 2 things that are worth talking about. Okay, that's the one that I love the most, I think. But then...
Oh my God, what is it on?
It's on a piece of... kind of like a manila file folder, but it's like a cue card.
It's kayak. You and Greg kayaking. Oh my God.
So Greg's birthday was this week.
Uh-huh. Oh, happy birthday, Greg.
Aw.
How old
is Greg? He can hear you. That's fun.
Oh.
I was going to say I'll pass it on, but I don't have to.
Hey, Greg.
He's 30 as of 2 days ago, I think.
30, flirty, and thriving.
Oh, yeah. So
30, serious and thriving. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Why does that get me so good? Yeah, so on his birthday, I painted him that thing, and I think, so we've never really been that big on presents for some reason, but every year for birthdays, like, we make a card or a piece of art. Like, for my birthday, he drew me, he's like a really talented artist, but he doesn't do that much art.
Yeah.
He drew this picture in pencil crayon of, like, a hike that we took that I really didn't want to go on. And he wrote, like, a poem on the back. It was really, really sweet.
Yeah.
So every year we do that instead of presents, which is kind of fun, I think. Like, it's like, I don't know, fun.
Yeah.
And so
it's like not low pressure, but like...
Yeah, it's like, you don't have to spend a lot of money on, because we don't really need any more things, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you get to spend a moment, like, appreciating the other person, like, while you're making it, like, especially for this, like, so what it is an imagined picture, like a bird's eye view of kayaking through the pikes, like we talked about last week. So I actually, like, the one that I did first was the one with 3 panels on it.
Oh, I see. Oh my God.
And so what I discovered was acrylic on paper and acrylic comics. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's
you
a 3-panel comic.
Yeah, like, it's like it's sequential art, because it's like it's the lily pads, and then it's Greg towing me across the lake and me dragging my hands in the water, looking up at the clouds, and then there's a picture of the clouds.
That's lovely. I love the, like, I can see your hands and, like, the water bubbling behind you. That's so wonderful.
I'm so pleased with it. Like, I feel like it feels really good to, like, because you can draw in pencil, and in watercolor, if you paint over the pencil, you can see the pencil underneath, and you can't erase it. But which you would think that you could erase it because you can see it, but it doesn't work like that. But with acrylic, like, you can paint over anything. Like, I had the lily pads were like a whole other color, and I painted them over, and, like, the ground is, like, lit up. It's supposed to be lit up with sun underneath the fish and stuff. Like, and the the contrast is so beautiful to me, and like the shadows. And I also, this is one of the first times that I don't draw a lot from my imagination, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, because you don't have photos of this.
Totally. Like
You drew this from your brain.
Yeah. And like, when you draw it from your brain, like, those legs don't have to look like my legs, you know? Like, those arms, like, whatever. That's his head. I drew his nose on the front. That kayak doesn't look like that. Like, you know? And so it felt very good, I think, to do that.
I love them. That's one of the things that I eventually want to be able to do, is paint something that is not from a picture or like another painting. I'm almost scared to try.
I think that's how that's not, I think, like, I know that's how I feel too. Like, I'm scared, and that's why I don't do it very often, because I think of I'm stuck because I feel like there's something really big that I wanted to say and I can't remember what it is. But with this sort of, there's this thing in Lynda Barry's book where she says, when you're drawing, you have to draw your whole body in the frame. You don't just get to draw what you see. You don't just get to draw part of your body. You have to draw the whole thing. And I think, like, often we don't have pictures of ourselves, right? Like, someone would have to so it kind of makes you imagine what you looked like. And I feel like that's an interesting starting point.
Oh, yeah.
Because you didn't, when you're drawing comics of, like, you at your computer, you didn't draw that from a photo. And you didn't draw yourself laying in your bed from a photo, you know?
No, yeah.
So...
Oh, it's very strange. It's a strange experience. Yeah, you're right.
I think it is strange, and also, like, you said, I want to be able to do that, but I don't think that it's, like, something that you're eventually just going to be like, oh, suddenly I am able to do this. Like, I think you could do it right this second, somehow.
Yeah, like, it's not something that, if you just practice from photos, that you'll automatically be good at painting from your imagination.
Actually,
I think it's like, you have to start painting from your imagination to be able to do it, maybe.
I feel like it goes both ways, because I feel like if you paint from your imagination, then it's like, everybody knows what a flower looks like. If you paint something that sort of looks like a flower, we can recognize it, or faces especially. But also, my friend Alyssa, who has been working through making comics on her Instagram, and it's so inspiring.
Cool.
But she has an incredible vocabulary drawing wise. Like, she can draw an animal out of anything. Like, she just knows what everything sort of looks like. And so how she acquired that, like, I asked her about it once, and she said she used to draw from National Geographic all the time. So, like, anything can turn into a fish. Like, anything can, if it needs a dragon foot, like, she can just stick a dragon foot on. Or, like, we'll go to, like, Dr. Sketchy, and she'll draw the model, and it'll be like this stunning face, like, she's just got an incredible, it's almost like imagination meets reality vocabulary. Yeah.
It's like a translation from inside to outside.
Totally. And I think, like, Dr. Sketchy is like a life drawing night. It's hosted in a bunch of different cities. It's like international sort of thing. Okay. And it's like, you draw
Dr. Sketchy.
Well, you draw burlesque dancers as the model, so that's kind of fun. Instead of a more serious, like, nude model does this, which is totally valid and still interesting, but different. It's like a different feel. And at Dr. Sketchy, you can, like, buy wine, and, like, everyone's in there, and there's contests and stuff. It's super fun. If there's one in your city, you should check it out when pandemic is over. But so drawing next to her was what showed me that, like, I would always draw the model, but I wouldn't draw their head or their face. Because I know it'd be like a headless life model, like, but it was because I was so mortified at the idea of someone seeing it and going, that doesn't look like the model. Or, like, or the model seeing it and going, like, oh, you think that's hideous.
You think I'm ugly.
You think I'm ugly. Or, like, you think I'm, I don't know, something that they don't want to be, that everyone has their own set of things, and I could never guess what they don't want to be portrayed as. But, like, I don't think they think that at all. But she, like, Alyssa was the first one that showed me, like, it doesn't have to look like the model. It can just be. Every face you draw can look different, and that's fine. And I feel like that freed me up to, like, start trying.
Yeah.
which
trying to draw faces.
Yeah, like drawing faces on the model.
Yeah.
Which is like, I feel like it becomes a complete drawing when that happens, because we love faces. We love, they communicate so much.
Yeah.
So it was a real great stride in drawing.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was going to ask you, because I think maybe last week or the week before, you said like you were kind of like blah on practicing drawing faces anymore. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you're feeling a bit more zesty about lately?
I wanted to, but I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like it would be different if I'm trying to be caught by something. Like I'm trying to be inspired.
Yeah. With
that feeling, kind of like we were talking about at the start. And I haven't really felt that about anything. Like there haven't been any faces that I've been like, that face, I want to paint it. And then also it's really discouraging to be like, to paint someone that you know and have it come out differently. Like I know I said like I'm more comfortable with drawing faces that look different every time, but like I feel like I draw every time I draw Greg's face and then I show him, he's like, okay, another one.
One time Mitch drew me and I was so insulted. And it was a wonderful drawing, but it was like stylized, shall we say.
What does that mean?
Like I had a very big chin and a very big forehead, and like it was almost caricature, and I was
You're
so
like,
insulted.
this is what you think of me?
Is this what you think I look like? I actually have that picture. I can send it to you. I think I have it.
Of course you kept it. You keep it in the drawer just in case. You're waiting the 10
Anytime
years.
I need to feel bad about myself.
Anytime I need a little extra bad boost.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like it would be fun, but I haven't. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while I remember that someone's listening to this, and I go, I feel like, quick, say something important. Yeah.
Can I talk about the virtue trap?
Yes, please.
I don't think it's going to be like a long thing, but it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a big thing maybe.
What's going on?
I don't know, Jazz. Okay, so in week 5 of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, she talks about the virtue trap. And it is, do you remember doing this? Do you remember what the virtue trap is?
I don't remember what it is, but I remember reading it.
Basically what it is that like people often live their lives for other people. She gives the example of like, you are a husband with a wife and 2 kids and the family room needs a new couch, or you could get yourself that new set of paintbrushes that you've always wanted because your set is old and frayed. You end up getting the couch. And that is perceived by yourself and by other people as a virtue. Like you're being selfless, you're giving of yourself.
Right. Sacrifice. For
other people. You're sacrificing for other people. And that what we tend to do is sacrifice away everything. Like to the point where you don't consider yourself an artist or whatever, or, a writer or a comic or whatever, because, I never do it. I've sacrificed all my time and money and energy to other people, so I don't have time, money, energy for myself to do these things.
Right. And I think also when you sacrifice those parts of yourself, it's like you're making a bid towards other values. Like you're not an artist because you're a responsible father.
Exactly. And like what do I have written here? I have that over time you become depleted because you're depriving yourself of something that like you need to thrive, which is creativity or a creative outlet of some kind. And that it can lead to like anger, resentment, irritability, depression, all of this kind of stuff. And it just made me think of kind of a big question, but like, why did I go to law school?
Whoa.
And her examples are sort of like smaller things, like smaller sacrifices, I guess. Because the question that she asks at the end is, what are my needs? What would I do if it weren't too selfish? And when I think about like, why did I make the decision to go to law school? A lot of it was based on a fear of other people thinking I wasn't smart or accomplished or important or all these things. But a lot of it was, I need to make money. Because back then I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have children. I don't really want to anymore. But back then I was like, well, if I want to have kids, then I need to have like a profession. I need to be able to provide for a family someday. So I'm going to go to law school so that I always have this in my back pocket that I can pull out and make money with, if need be. And it was more like this will definitely be need, because children cost money.
Right.
And so the question, what would I do if it wasn't too selfish? I almost couldn't even write down the answer, but I was like, I would just, it sounds so stupid, but I would be an artist of some kind. Not that sounds stupid. I just mean it feels stupid that it's so hard for me to imagine being an artist as my primary identity, I guess.
After like a lifetime of school stuff.
Yeah. After a lifetime of, Fiona, she's going to work for the government. She's going to do policy analysis. She's going to do legislation.
Right.
She's going to work on the Hill. She's so smart. Oh, now she's going to law school. Ooh, she's going to work for, I don't even know. Like,
right.
She's going to do big things and she's going to be so successful. And I feel like I wasn't doing that for myself. I feel like I was doing that in a way to put off a lot of things, but also to sort of form myself into this identity that I thought people expected of me and that I thought I would have to embody in order to basically afford a life that I wanted / never critically thought about. If that makes any sense. I don't know if it does, because I spoke that all very slowly.
But like sacrificed for something that, like a hypothetical future that seemed important at the time, but wasn't.
Exactly. And I'm, my circumstances have really changed. Children and having that sort of like nuclear family in the little house in the suburb is not necessarily how I want my future to look anymore. And so I feel like I'm more able to broaden my mind about what am I going to be doing every day. And also, like, when it comes to Mitch, my partner, like, he went into a field that isn't necessarily known for being the most lucrative in the world, which is English literature. And so when he did that, or like, since I've known him, he's been doing that. And I was like, okay, well, that's his dream and he should follow it. And I don't really have a dream. So I guess I'll just do something that'll make us money.
So it's almost like sacrifice for somebody else too. Like,
yeah, sacrifice for Mitch. And it's not to say that he ever asked me to do that. He didn't.
Right. But you're like, I see this gap, this potential gap.
And so I'm kind of had my, like, the question posed to me that by Julia, like she always does.
Right.
And if I'm
right
being, she's always like, oh my God, she's got her little finger on the pulse of what's going on in my brain. I guess just if I'm 100% honest with myself, and I'm not able to be super specific about what this would look like, but I would just want to make art of some kind all day, whether that be writing books or painting or making jewelry or writing jokes, or I don't know. That sounds like a lot of fun. And that feels like something that would be a choice that I make for me. Like entirely for me.
Right.
And I don't know. I guess what really struck me was how hard it was for me to envision that for myself. After years and years and years of envisioning myself as the caretaker of other people.
Oof.
Yeah. So that was my big thing this week.
I feel like that's a huge thing, like that letting go of that idea of being a caretaker. Like, And then what happens when you actually let your real self in.
Yeah.
Because I think,
what if I took care of myself?
Yeah, no kidding. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And, like, also I think when we do take care of ourselves, we bring more of our full self to the table. Especially, like, okay, so my friend Sarah, so she works a job she doesn't super love. That may or may not be an understatement. But she, like, did a lot of, like, academic stuff for a lot of the same reasons. Like, she was so smart. Like, her mom thought she was so smart, she'd do all the smart stuff. But she said to me that every night before she goes to sleep, she's been writing this book in her head, but she hasn't written any words down.
Fuck.
I know. And, like, it, like, was keeping her up at night and all this stuff. And so she started writing it. I know.
That's
like,
so exciting.
It is so exciting. And so I bought her The Artist Way too around the same time. And so she's been working through it. She's been doing, like, the morning pages and, like, kind of some of the tasks and just writing. And, like, the other day, like, we've been kind of talking on the phone more often, and she was telling me about her book the other day, and she, like, lit on fire for this thing. Like, her whole, like, face lit up, and, like, it just felt like she was doing something that was, like, for her, that she cared about, that was, like, true and exciting. And just, like, seeing someone light up with that passion is, and, like, also seeing the contrast between, like, I know sometimes we got to do things we don't want to do so that we can pay bills or whatever, but, like, the contrast between the life sort of that she was working on and, like, how just engaged she was in this new thing.
That's wonderful.
Just so, yeah, it's so wonderful.
Did she say, like, what, if anything, what was the turning point for her? Like, what made her actually put pen to paper? Or was it just, like, one day I just did it?
I think one day maybe she just did it. I'm not sure. But, like, she's been writing, she's made a goal to, like, write 500 words a day.
Oh my God.
And sometimes she sits down, she writes, like, lots and lots and lots.
Yeah.
And so, like, this book is getting written, and it's so thrilling. It's just it's so cool to be around people who are doing things they care about. And I think that makes me think, like, being an artist is not entirely a selfish thing. Like, I think by making art, we provide value to others in whatever way. Like, when would you have ever said a songwriter of your favorite song? Like, when would you ever say Sofi Tukker was wasting his time?
Oh,
you know,
God,
like,
never.
wasting all of our...
Yeah. Like, you provide by whatever it is that you make, but also, like you said, you become more of yourself, your true self.
Yeah, like,
and then you can have more maybe authentic relationships with other people.
Yes, totally. And I think, like, when you get free like that, like, when you become more yourself, you actually lift up the people around you. Like, I think, like, if I hadn't turned back to art, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I know.
You know,
and I feel like you're helping me turn back to art, and then maybe one day I can help somebody else.
Totally. Like,
or,
we
like,
all get
through
to
the
lift each
podcast.
other up. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like, just this idea that we can all be a little more free. I don't know. I know it's not the most rich word to use to describe the feeling,
but it feels like the right word for sure. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say about that.
I feel like that's a big thing, and I'm excited to see like what other thoughts and ideas come out of it, and like also what you envision as, because you said it's really hard to visualize.
Yeah. I have like a lot of different things that I want to do, and sometimes I'm like, well, you know, you're supposed to like choose one and like get really good at one thing, but like, or I also could do like a bunch of different things in my life, which is kind of comes back to that like 5 lives thing.
Totally.
That we talked about in episode 2 or 3 or whatever.
Right.
Anyway.
I think one thing Julia Cameron does a lot of, I don't know if it's in chapter 5, but it might be coming, she does a lot of basically like vision board stuff. Like she wants you like cut stuff out.
Yeah,
of
that was in 5, and I was like, you know what? I already have a Pinterest, so
I know, and I started a Pinterest board, and I started what I was really excited about, and I'm still excited about this. Like this really gets my gears going, but like it feels so good to be excited about something, but I really something that I would love to do is. Because as we discussed, my main thing is like showing people things they didn't realize about themselves, like that they were capable of. Like I love that. And so I think I also love building community. Like I love all of that stuff. I love empowerment in general. And I think it would be just the most fun thing and the biggest service that I could do with my life would be to like make a sort of maker space, like a art center. Where like the community offers classes, like people from the community, maybe somebody comes in and everybody makes a quilt and they're like sewing or beading or beer making or canning or just and so I've never used Pinterest, but I took a crack at it when she was telling us to make vision boards, and I like had a bunch of class ideas and I put them on a Pinterest board because like who has magazines anymore?
Literally nobody.
Like, and you know, I love magazines. Like I used to love collage. Like I love the colors. I love the everything, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna buy something and cut it up.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I didn't do the vision board part of this week, so maybe I'll make a little Pinterest board of like creative future or something.
Yeah, like what does it look like to you that is so like when it starts to take shape, like what is that shape gonna be?
Ooh, it's gonna be juicy.
That's a really exciting. This is a big moment, I think.
Yeah.
I remember that thing that I was gonna say. I know we've been talking for basically ever by now, but I feel like a bunch of it is gonna be cut. And the big thing that occurred to me this week was like it's the first week that's been totally off from bird strips, and like I think the biggest thing I've realized is that doing daily art, having that daily project actually allowed me to check out of my real life in a way. Like for so long I've been able to be not present because and it's a big difficult thing, but like I've been able to sort of go away to my, you know, desk or like stay up late at night and not go to bed, which we talked about before. But also just like whenever I'm doing something else, I'm thinking of my own stuff and I'm not even in the room, you know, like I'm thinking of like projects or like I'm worrying or like all of this stuff, or I get up in the morning and I check all my notifications on social media and then I start scrolling social media. And so it's really allowed me to opt out of family time, opt out of real feelings, like Julia Cameron says. And I think that's a really difficult thing to crash land back into. And like I've been avoiding it. Like Greg yesterday said, like I've been on my phone a lot, and I totally have been.
Oh, yeah.
And I think my life
like
has been
comfort blanket, or that's not the word.
It's numbing for sure. Like it means that I don't have to take real stock of anything. But I think like because I'm so used to that, like my mom just got back from a vacation, sort of. Like she went to go see my, not like a vacation. I mean, we're in a pandemic.
A trip.
But like a trip. But it was kind of a vacation because, you know, she got to be in someone else's, she went to visit my grandmother on the farm, and so she was like out all the time, like on the field with like cows and just enjoying it. And I had this sense, she just got back like yesterday, and this was another sense of like I feel like I haven't had quote unquote fun in so long, like just free enjoyment of new stimuli. Like I feel like I've just been sort of like,
that's the funnest description of fun I've ever heard.
I know, like I'm not that fun of a person, maybe. Like that, and like that worries me. Like maybe, like I don't make my own fun. I'm not like I'm sometimes, I guess, the life of the party, but it has to be somebody else's party. I'm not the life of my own party, you know?
That sounds like not true to me.
But like I'm not, when I'm just like sitting around, I don't make my own fun really. And I think that might be why my creative well is dried up. Like I'm not like letting myself have new, I don't know. So I sort of feel sad in a way. Like my life has stopped because of, and I'm blaming the pandemic, but it's not the pandemic's fault. Like, my life has always been, like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think it's because, so Mark W. Freeman, I actually don't know if that's his name.
Marky Mark
changed my life, basically. He wrote a book called You're Not a Rock, and it's about mental health, and he has a just fantastic Instagram. He's just so I don't want to say wholesome, but like what is the best thing that I can say? He is very action focused. Like he's very like mental health through action towards your values. And I feel like I'm just not living my values right now, which has an impact on my mental health. Like when I'm not living according to the things that I care about.
Taking action towards anything. Yeah.
Then it means
you're
it's like
scrolling on your phone.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. And so he's like inside the book, it's like, make a list of all of your checking compulsions. Yeah. Stuff like that. And it's like, my checking compulsion would be Instagram. You know, like notifications and stuff. And so one thing that I think I'm going to experiment with is not scrolling this week. Like, I can check my phone, but I can connect with friends, because I think, like, sometimes I throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm like, no more phone. But, like, in the pandemic especially, like, messages from friends and, like, checking in with people and, you know, joking with friends is, like, a very important social source of health. Yeah. And I think maybe if I can only answer messages and not scroll this week or whatever, like, I feel like
it's gonna be hard.
I mean, maybe,
but you can do it.
Now that I'm not posting every day, I almost don't have, like, I don't really have comments to check, which I usually did, and that would be the gateway into an infinite scroll. And I love checking in and seeing, because my Instagram people that I follow is all art. It's not, you know, friends with babies or, you know, the standard social media fare. It's like
big butts.
Yeah.
Fitspo.
Yeah. It's none of that.
That's what mine
or
was
like
for a while.
Foodspo or like anything. It's all art. Like, it's all paintings. It's all that kind of stuff. So I love seeing what people are up to, but also sometimes, like yesterday, it makes me feel really bad about myself. Yeah. Which has no reflection on anybody else. Like, it's all me, right? Like, me seeing your avocados and going, why me? It's like, that has nothing to do with
looking at everybody else's art instead of making your own, or looking at somebody else's swimming and you're not doing your own swimming or whatever. Like,
Totally. Like, I think it's good if you go, oh, I bet I could do something like that. But it's bad if you're like, I'm not doing anything like that.
Well, or it's like, you could go, oh, I bet I could do that. I want to do that. But then you don't do it. I think the key is action. Like, the key is to look at somebody's, like, swimming in a lake and go, like, oh, I want to swim in a lake. And then you go drive to a lake and swim in the lake or whatever. Yeah,
totally. Because I think we don't feel that. It's like jealousy is a map again. Yeah. And if we don't do the things that we, like, want. Yeah. If we don't take action towards the things that we want, then we just get sort of... we feel shitty. Yeah.
that was a huge part of the one of the streams of therapy I did this year. It was called Acceptance and Commitment Therapy ACT. And the whole idea could be basically summed up in action towards values. It's like, write down your values, and then every week, what actions are you going to take to move towards those values?
Totally. And I think
it was so helpful.
Like, when you do that, your life just gets better. It seems like, you know?
Oh my God. Totally. I'm getting hungry.
Okay, sorry. I always keep you past dinner.
We always record right before dinner for me, so I'm always like, my tummy's hungry.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, and another thing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. But let's wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay. So, good chat. Yeah. What is our usual sign off? If you've been doing anything this week, if we've inspired you to restart something that felt stuck,
let us know.
Let us know.
Check out @ArtHorsePod on Instagram. That's where we'll post the things that we talked about. Like, I'm gonna post my avocados probably.
Definitely.
And or you could email us at arthorsepod@gmail.com. And or like DM us on Instagram or whatever. We love getting your messages.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Absolutely love.
And then maybe, like, one thing that I would be interested is, like, if you come across something on Instagram that's, like, a free workshop, can you send us a DM about it? Because that is so fun. We love it. And I bet that someone else would love it, too.
Yeah, we could share those.
Any kind of creative thing. If there's, like, a free songwriting workshop, a free horror
poetry
writing. Yeah.
Sexy selfies workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
And then finally, if you've been enjoying the pod and if it's doing something for you, we would be so grateful if you would rate and review us on iTunes.
Yes. Every time we see a review, we like cry.
We poop our pants and cry like little babies.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah, we become 0 years old. We go bald.
Little babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good chat.
Yeah, good chat. See you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.